They could heal the brain? Ancient Egypt's lost medical secrets finally revealed. Before Hippocrates, before modern medicine, the ancient Egyptians were curing diseases, stitching wounds, and even performing brain surgery. But how? Did you know that ancient Egyptians performed brain surgery over 4,000 years ago? Not in a sterile hospital, not with anesthesia, but in the desert sands of the Nile Valley, using copper tools, herbs, and knowledge still baffling to modern science. This isn't a myth. This is a forgotten legacy of healing. Today, we uncover the truth behind ancient Egypt's secret medical techniques and how they were centuries ahead of their time. Before the pyramids kissed the sky, before the pharaohs ruled as gods, there was the Nile. Its waters nourished the land, turning sand into civilization. By 3000 BCE, Egypt had already blossomed into one of the most advanced societies on Earth. They built monuments, mapped the stars, wrote on papyrus, and, astonishingly, they practiced organized medicine. Health wasn't just magic or mystery. It was science, ritual, and responsibility. The priest, the physician, the scribe, these were Egypt's healers, and their influence, global. In ancient Egypt, health was sacred. Illness was seen as a disturbance in the cosmic balance, an offense to Ma'at, the order of the universe. But unlike other ancient cultures, Egyptians didn't rely solely on divine intervention. They combined spiritual healing with practical science. Doctors were known as SWNW, and they specialized. There were physicians for the eyes, the stomach, even for dental care. Temples such as those at Edfu, Abydos, and Karnak were centers of healing, not just for prayer, but for treatment, surgery, and recovery. How do we know all this? Thanks to medical papyri, ancient scrolls that preserve thousands of years of Egyptian medical knowledge. Most famous among them, the Edwin Smith Papyrus, circa 1600 BCE, a surgical manual. It includes 48 case studies on head and spinal injuries, with diagnoses, treatments, and even prognosis. It's the oldest known surgical text in the world. The Ebers Papyrus, circa 1550 BCE, over 700 magical and medical remedies. It describes tumors, diabetes, contraception, and depression. Herbs, incantations, and procedures were all laid out in astonishing detail. The Kahan Papyrus, circa 1800 BCE, the earliest text focused on gynecology, discussing fertility, pregnancy, and birth complications. These weren't folk remedies. They were systematic, classified, and meticulously recorded. Now, the most shocking part. In the Edwin Smith Papyrus, there's evidence of cranial surgery, trepanation, where sections of the skull were removed to relieve pressure. These weren't accidents. The records describe tools, procedures, and symptoms like paralysis and brain swelling. And here's the kicker. Some skulls show signs of healing, meaning patients survived. In a world without anesthesia or antibiotics, that is mind-blowing. Modern doctors have studied these texts and marveled at their accuracy. Some techniques wouldn't be seen again for 2,000 years. Egyptian healers were masters of herbal medicine. They used over 700 medicinal plants, including willow bark, a natural painkiller, source of aspirin, garlic and onions for heart and immune health, pomegranate to treat tapeworms, honey as an antiseptic for wounds, aloe vera for burns and skin conditions. They understood dosage, side effects, and even drug interactions. Papyrus recipes mention mixing herbs with milk, beer, wine, or animal fat, depending on how fast or how deep the medicine needed to work. Ancient Egypt had dental specialists, unheard of in most ancient cultures. They repaired broken teeth with gold wire and linen sutures, and removed diseased teeth surgically. In fact, a 3,000-year-old mummy was found with a dental prosthetic, a copper pin inserted into the jawbone. They also had eye doctors. Cataracts, conjunctivitis, and infections were common in the hot, dusty climate. So they developed salves using copper salts, antiseptics, and crushed minerals. Even mental health was recognized. The Ebers Papyrus describes emotional disorders, and suggests treatments for sadness and madness using calming herbs and music. The Kahan papyrus gives us insight into women's medicine like no other ancient text. It included techniques to detect pregnancy using barley and emmer wheat. If either sprouted when urinated on, the woman was pregnant, a method later proven to be 70% accurate. Diagnose fertility issues. Provide birth control using pessaries made of honey, acacia, and dates. Midwives played crucial roles in childbirth, using birthing stools, massage, and prayers to Tarit, the protective goddess of women and children. Archaeologists have discovered a wide range of surgical instruments in tombs and temple ruins, including copper and bronze scalpels, forceps, catheters, suturing needles, bone saws, surgical hooks, and here's the most shocking part. They practiced sterilization, cleaning tools with boiling water and wine. In an age when Europe was still bloodletting and treating wounds with leeches, Egyptians had surgical wards. Greek scholars like Hippocrates, Herodotus, and Galen studied in Egypt. Even Pythagoras and Plato referenced Egyptian medicine. The Great Library of Alexandria became the center of learning, where Egyptian, Greek, Indian, and Persian medicine merged. Later, Islamic physicians like Avicenna translated Egyptian texts, preserving their wisdom through the Middle Ages. So, the medicine we use today, its roots trace all the way back to the Nile. If the Egyptians were so advanced, why did we forget? Several reasons. Their texts were written in hieratic and demotic script, not understood for centuries. Much of their knowledge was lost during invasions. Assyrians, Persians, Romans, and the burning of the Library of Alexandria. Later civilizations focused on philosophy and religion rather than preservation of medical practice. Only in the 19th century, with the discovery of the Rosetta Stone and papyrus translations, did their secrets begin to re-emerge. Ancient Egypt was not just the land of pyramids and pharaohs. It was a land of science, healing, and innovation. They saw the body not as a mystery, but a machine with systems to be understood. Their knowledge saved lives. Their tools shaped future medicine. And their secrets, now uncovered, remind us how far back our journey of healing truly began. We live in a world of high-tech hospitals and robotic surgery. But once 4,000 years ago, in the shade of the pyramids, a doctor with a copper knife and a scroll of papyrus changed the course of history. And now, their story is yours.